and went back to the drawing board. Stalin would stop at nothing to get what he wanted.
Why are you that damn petty, though? He's dead. You have too much time on your hands, bruh.
Later, in the void.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy. Welcome back to the Savvy Show. And before we get started, I just gotta say thank you for each and every one of you guys that tuned into all the videos and subscribed to the channel, because we just reached 5K subs on the channel, guys. This is awesome, man. Honestly, we're halfway to the year goal, which is 10K. I can't thank you guys enough. Before anything else, I'm just happy that you guys are actually enjoying the content that I'm making. It's really cool just to see that you guys are enjoying and tuning in to all the reactions, man. It really means the world, and it's awesome to see that you guys are enjoying the content along the way, even though it might be hard bearing with me through all these, because you know your boy is wet behind the ears when I started this channel. So I still have a long way to go, and I'm just glad that you guys are still tuned in for the journey. And hopefully you guys stay till the end, because I don't think this is going to stop anytime soon. So with that being said, man, today we got another interesting SCP. This is self-explanatory. You guys will see by the title, but y'all will see why I think this is interesting. This is SCP-2430, Immortal Hitler Clone. So first, let's just address the elephant in the room. Who would want to make a Hitler clone? I'm just being straight up. Who would want to do that? And two, why would you make it immortal? Man, this is going to be crazy. Let's see what this is all about. I'm excited. So with that being said, if you guys are excited for this reaction, please remember to smash that like button. Guys, let's get it done, man. Let's get 100 likes on this one. The last video, the Keter Duty one, we're about to hit 100 likes within the first day. It looks like so. We're on pace to making this a routine now. So let's get 100 likes on this one. Let's keep the momentum going, because we ain't going to stop. You know what we say on this channel, all gas, no brakes. We don't slow down for nothing. So let's get it popping together. So with that being said, remember to hit that bell and turn on post notifications so you do not miss an upload. I'm telling you guys, it's only going to get spicier. So tune in while you can, since there won't be too many stops left, because we're about to take off, man. So with that all out the way, without any further ado, let's get this show started. Alrighty, SCP-2430, Immortal Hitler Clone. Let's see what this is about.
You're a new SCP Foundation researcher on tour of Site-17, familiarizing yourself with the location and its many anomalous inhabitants. It's the second largest Foundation containment site out there, and it's also the kind of job that most junior researchers dream of. Low-risk humanoid containment, baby. Most of the inhabitants in your sector are cordial, willing to comply with orders from staff, and seem, for all intents and purposes, pretty much human. You pass from door to door, looking through the viewing hatch of each one. You can't believe what you're seeing. It's a wonderful who's who of anomalous humanoids.
I guess that's another SCP. It looks familiar. I think it's like General something. I'm pretty sure I didn't cover it yet. I might do that. Let me know in the comment section below if he's worth covering, because I know that's an old one.
You see the wise, bearded face of SCP-343, known to some as God. You see the blue eyes and shining blonde hair of Iris, SCP-105 looking wistfully into a Polaroid picture. You see the tanned, melancholic face of Kane, SCP-073, as he stares off into the middle distance. Face after face after face passes. You can see yourself getting more familiar with each one. Yes, your time here will be... Wait,
there's
is
Hitler.
that Hitler? You stop and walk back to the door you just passed,
Bro.
where you can't help but stop and stare in disbelief. Yes, it's him. It's gotta be him. You recognize
What
the
the
unpleasant
heck?
sneer, the hideous comb-over, the silly little toothbrush mustache. The SCP Foundation seems to have Adolf Hitler, the former leader of the Third Reich in World War II, in active containment, and his designation is SCP-2430. You've seen killer toasters and masks that can take over people's minds, but you've never seen anything as surreal as this.
That's what I'm saying.
You immediately run to your superior and ask how and why Hitler is in one of the Site-17 humanoid containment sites.
For real.
Buckle in, because we can guarantee it's one of the most insane stories you've ever heard.
Okay, let's see.
It's late April, 1945, and the Soviets are rampaging through Nazi Germany, destroying everything in their path. The German forces have been nearly obliterated, and Hitler and the rest of his Reich Chancellery have retreated to a secure bunker beneath Berlin.
Okay.
There on April 30th, 10 days after his 56th birthday, Hitler died.
Good.
This was truly unfortunate for the Soviets, as they wished to have had the chance to kill him themselves. 2 days later, Soviet forces stormed the Führer bunker. It was little more than a formality at that point, as the news of Hitler's death had already gone public. By the time they arrived, all that was left of...
What did it say? Hitler killed Hitler? Hitler killed Hitler? What?
Already gone public. By the time they arrived, all that was left of Hitler was a pile of mostly burned remains. A fitting end for someone who had caused the same cruel fate for so many others. They collected what was left of Hitler's body and brought it back to the fatherland, a kind of trophy for their nation. But Hitler dying before Joseph Stalin could get his hands on him was not what Stalin wanted.
Wait. Don't tell me they legit cloned him and made him immortal so they could just kill him over and over again, so they could get the satisfaction of killing Hitler. Bruh. Bro, if that's the case, y'all stupid. Like, I'm just being straight up.
Hitler had not only caused the deaths of millions of Russians, he had personally betrayed Stalin's trust. And when you betray Stalin, bad things happen to you. Very, very bad things. 2 years earlier, in 1943, Soviet forces had raided a camp in Judica, belonging to the Obscura Corps. Think of them as the Nazis' own version of the SCP Foundation, who were hell-bent on gathering anomalous people and artifacts to increase the power of the Third Reich. They were a far more militant offshoot of the Thule Society, a group that described itself as a study group for Germanic antiquity. While this may seem innocent, the Thule Society was actually a racist cult, closely aligned with the goals and ideas of the German Nazi Party.
But shit, look at their symbol, bro. Like, you can just look at that and you already know what they're about. Come on now.
Many have also speculated that they were heavily involved in the occult, and it's this mysticism-obsessed offshoot that went on to form the Obscura Corps. And in their Genuesca base, they'd obtained 100 pieces of enchanted occult flesh with human skeletons embedded in each of them. This flesh was believed to originate from the mythological Sarimnir, the beast hunted and eaten again and again by the pantheon of Norse gods, having the qualities of both a wild boar and a goat. The flesh can bond to skeletons, and give them a quality somewhat like immortality. Any flesh cut from them will regrow time and time again, if given a rest period.
So I'm assuming they put that flesh on the skeleton of Hitler, and he just became Hitler again. What the hell?
Now that he had both the flesh of Sarimnir and Hitler's burnt remains, Stalin had an idea. A perfect way to not only bring satisfaction to the Russian people and the world, but to finally exact the true revenge that Hitler had denied to him. He called it Project Judica, namely after the very bottom level of hell reserved for betrayers like Judas.
If that's the case, that's not a clone. I'm just being straight up. That's him. That's Hitler. He came back. Like, it's not like you cloned his corpse and he made him immortal. It's legit Hitler. He's back. It's his skeleton and everything. So is that really still a clone? Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about that. Because I would say it's not a clone. It's Hitler. You know, same brain, same body and everything.
A perfect tribute for an old ally turned enemy. He couldn't kill Hitler before, but if Stalin was going to get the chance, Hitler needed to live again. For years, Stalin's top scientists tried to use arcane methods to resurrect Hitler by combining his remains with the flesh of Sarimnir. At times, they even came close to creating a new Hitler, but there was one huge issue. The creature they created could not feel pain, and for Stalin's plans of violent and painful retribution, the lack of suffering simply would not do. They destroyed what they had created and went back to the drawing board. Stalin would stop at nothing to get what he wanted.
Why are you that damn petty, though? He's dead. You have too much time on your hands, bruh.
Even if it meant breaking every law of nature in the process.
Oh my God.
In order to make his twisted dream a reality, Stalin formed an unholy alliance with a group known as the Uralic Fleshcrafters, a neo-Sarkic cult that was a branch of the nightmarish religion of Sarkicism. This group essentially worships avatars of flesh, corruption, and disease, and are behind some of the most terrifying and disgusting anomalies out there, including the flesh that hates and the bone orchard. True Sarkicists, who show the proper devotion to their vile deities and know the right rituals to contact them, are often granted anomalous powers that spread the Sarkic influence further across the known dimensions.
What?
These powers will usually involve having a supernatural ability to manipulate the flesh of themselves and others, allowing them to enhance their bodies, cheat death, and warp their enemies beyond repair.
Oh my God.
They can sometimes even create life, if they're a powerful enough acolyte of Sarkicism. And it was because of these powers that Stalin wanted the Uralic Fleshcrafters under his command. In exchange for their participation, he would give them a vast quantity of the flesh of Sarimnir, which they could use for their own sinister Sarkic purposes.
Oh my God.
The deal was struck, and the true work of resurrecting Hitler began. Stalin was very specific in his requirements. He gave the Uralic flesh crafters extra bones to compensate for what had gone missing from Hitler's burnt remains.
Okay.
He also gave them samples of the flesh of Saramir to achieve the desired effects of a near-immortal tolerance for damage. However, Stalin demanded that he heighten this new Hitler's capacity to experience pain, so that every suffering inflicted on him would be 3 times worse than anyone else. And true to their word, the flesh crafters got to work and began creating just such a creature.
Damn, Hitler, you chose the wrong person to be enemies with.
By now it was the early 1950s, and Stalin was putting the pieces in place for his grand revenge. Once the new Hitler was finished, he would hold a new trial for him in the Russian courts, where he would preside over the sentencing personally. Once the new Hitler was done, the Uralic flesh crafters were rewarded for their participation in Project Judica, with 4,000 kilograms of the flesh of Saramir. Stalin now had his very own personal Hitler chew toy that he could maim and torture as much as he pleased, knowing that he would always heal and soon be ready for more. In their infinite generosity, the flesh crafters even taught Stalin a new method of torment for his old enemy, a process known as the Rite of Nyas. It's a torture that's been described by many as being like the Chinese Ling Qi, also known as the lingering death, or slow slicing, but it is probably best known as the death by 1,000 cuts. The Soviets and the Sarkics parted ways. For the next few years, Stalin took a great deal of pleasure in visiting Hitler's cage now and then to torture him, until Stalin himself eventually passed away from natural causes. The GRUP division, which is essentially the Soviet answer to the SCP Foundation, decided it would be best to do away with the immortal Hitler clone after Stalin's death. He no longer served any purpose, and no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't permanently kill him either. In the end, they settled on a kind of compromise. He would be buried alive and forgotten, forced to live a torturous eternity that he could never escape.
That's messed
Until,
up.
of course, he was dug up and rescued by none other than the members of Obscura, a modern splinter group of the original Obscura Corps.
Yo, at the end of the day, he still wins. He's alive. I mean... This boy Stalin, man, it's just ridiculous. And also, if you think about it, if it's a legit clone, is it really worth it though? Is it the actual Hitler? Like, it'll be different if it's the actual Hitler, which I'm assuming it is. The way he came back, because it's like his whole skeleton and everything, I'm assuming his brain come back, I'm assuming. But if it's not, then like, it's just a clone. Like, does this clone even know he's like a clone or know what he did in the past? Because we don't even know that. It could just be a regular person that you're torturing. He doesn't know about betraying you in the past or anything. What the heck?
Like many high-profile Nazis who'd escaped the war, the new Hitler was spirited away to a safe house run by sympathizers in Argentina. The ones taking care of him received the following correspondence from the Obscura agents who'd first dug the new Hitler back up. We have managed to rescue the Führer and bring him to safety, but he is effectively dead on the inside. I blame the Reds for their inhumane treatment of the Führer, who may have been bewitched by the Reds' Wunderwaffe. I wish we could mercy kill him, but we've tried everything. He just won't perish. Don't abandon him. He's too distinct in plain sight. They didn't have the new Hitler for long, though. In 1960, efforts to hunt down the remaining Nazi fugitives increased in intensity. The new Hitler was soon captured by Mossad agents searching for Nazis in Buenos Aires, and then remanded to the containment of the SCP Foundation when they realized that he had a number of anomalous properties, such as his incredible regenerative abilities, as well as the fact that his DNA seems to be based on that of a wild boar and a goat rather than a human. However, X-rays conducted by the Foundation have discovered traces of cyanide still in his system, as well as traces of lead in his skull where the bone has regrown over the bullet.
That's not a clone then. That's him. Because if it's a clone, he wouldn't be having those injuries. It will just be a clone of him. What the heck? Wow.
In other words, it was unquestionably the real Hitler, and he was now in Foundation custody forevermore.
It's not a clone.
It's such a wild story, even by Foundation standards, that you can barely summon the words to respond once your supervisor is finished. He just stands there with a slight smile, basking in your amazement. Before you can even ask again, he confirms the facts one more time. Yes, it is the real Hitler. The only functional difference is that he can't die, and he has a heightened sense of pain compared to most people. You think on what you've been told for just a moment, and then you have only one question. Are we allowed to punch him? Your supervisor smiles and says, of course. We all do. Now go check out SCP-1861, the crew.
Yo, I like the way they ended that. That's a good one. That was a good one. Wow, that's an interesting story that they came up to make this SCP what it is today. Yo, I enjoyed it. I still think Stalin's stupid for doing it. Straight up, he's in the grave and, you know, this guy's still alive. I know he's still getting tortured, but still, you know, he's still alive. And wow, it was just impressive. I didn't know this SCP would be that deep, but yo, I hope you guys all enjoyed this reaction. If you guys did, please remember to smash that like button. Let's get 100 likes for this video. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought about this SCP. And also remember, hit that bell so you can stay plugged for each and every upload. And now, unfortunately, that concludes today's episode. However, I'll catch you guys on the next one.